What was your reaction when you saw what happened with Framber Valdez and César Salazar?
I was watching the players' reactions for starters, and I saw Salazar walk toward the mound looking not happy. I saw Framber turn his back, not showing any remorse at all for what happened. And if it was an accident, if indeed this was just an innocent thing, if you're Framber, aren't you just throwing your hands up saying, whoa, whoa, sorry about that? We've seen that kind of thing happen. And in listening not just to AJ and Eric this morning, but other former players on social media, it's pretty unanimous that everyone thinks this was not a good thing, not a good act at all. And after the game, you read Chandler Rome's account this morning in The Athletic. After the game, Salazar is at his locker. Framber Valdez is talking to him. A coach comes and gets them and says, you need to go to the manager's office. If there is nothing going on here, they don't need to go to the manager's office. So obviously there's something going on here. And everything you guys said in the previous segment, I tend to agree with. And also, I should say this, in this kind of situation, what I always do is listen to the players and former players, because you guys have been in the mix. You know what is proper and what is not proper. And from every indication, what happened was not proper.
Do you think this is the kind of viral incident that other teams look at, including owners who are not focused on every pitch of Framber Valdez? He is going to be one of the top free agents this offseason. I'm serious when I say this, and I'm not trying to cost anyone money. This is the kind of incident that can turn someone off and say, I don't care about all of the other homework my front office is doing. I don't want that on my team.
Scott, that's a great question. It's kind of the question of the hour, honestly, because he is one of the top free agents available this offseason. And certainly he was looking for a contract, is looking for a contract in the Max Fried range, right? Now, I don't know if he'll get there. He's older, whatever. But if I'm a team, I'm asking him these questions. And I'm wanting to know in my interview process with him, hey, what is going on there? What is going on in some of these other incidents with catchers over the years? And if I'm going to give you X number of $100 million, can I trust you? And I want to look him in the eye and get answers to those questions. They are certainly valid questions. But when you ask me if I think it's going to cost him, I'm not sure, because talent weighs out so big in free agency in all baseball decisions, and teams take chances and invest in players all the time who have checkered past, something that they've done, emotional questions. This happens commonly. It's not unusual. So Framber Valdez is one of the better pitchers in the game, quite obviously. We all know that. And he's done it for a long time and done it at an extremely high level. I expect he's still going to do well, but I darn sure want to know the answers to those questions if I'm a general manager, owner, manager, whoever, because that can't happen on my team. Put it that way.
All right, some more heat. Colorado, the Rafi Devers, Kyle Freeland exchange. Obviously, more has come out. The reaction for me, the reaction from Chapman coming out and pushing Freeland is a rare reaction. And then it comes out that these guys that, they're kind of been pissed that Freeland has been somebody who runs his mouth, is what the word was said. Is this something that has been brewing between these two teams and it actually just came out, or what was it?
I don't know, Eric, to be perfectly honest. It certainly sounds like there's something of a history, or at least a memory among the Giants players of things Freeland has done in the past. And it was Logan Webb who said Freeland is a guy who runs his mouth. Logan Webb is not what I would call the most controversial player in the game. He is honest, and he can be brutally honest at times, but he's a guy who is generally level-headed. The key thing for me here is Devers does this all the time. Other players do this all the time. And I am wondering when we're ever going to get past, as a sport, getting offended by giving up a home run and the guy dancing around on you. Obviously, there are times where it's excessive, but when a guy does this quite frequently, quite commonly, come on. And it's a case also where Freeland gave up the home run. Hey, don't give up the home run if you don't want to get that kind of situation happening.
Ken, Devers came from the Red Sox. The Red Sox are in a pennant race with the
Blue Jays, your favorite team, and the Yankees. Roman Anthony has a oblique thingy?
Tightness
Tightness
for now.
thingy. I don't know if you've ever had an oblique tightness. I tore mine once. It hurts like holy hell, and you can't do anything with it. So how bad of news is this for the Red Sox, and how big of an impact, if he's out for a while, will this have on the AL East?
We don't have a diagnosis just yet, but anytime you hear oblique, it's generally not good. It's not you're back in 3 days. Now, I'm not going to draw any conclusions until we hear the diagnosis and the treatment plan and all of that, but he has been a critical part of their surge here and a critical part of what they have accomplished in the post-Devers era, which has been quite a lot. They've played great. So Roman Anthony is a huge part of their offense, and if they lose him, yes, it certainly damages them. The question would be, is he back for the end of the season? Is he back for the playoffs? How long does this take? And you guys know this, you players who experienced it. AJ, you just talked about it. Obliques take time. Generally speaking, it's not something you want to mess with, and often teams give players extra time with obliques because they can be re-injured so easily, and it's just such a tricky injury to deal with.
All right, you wrote about how the Tigers really don't care who the number 2 starter is. And those weren't your words. I think they were A.J. Hinch's words, if I got that correct.
No, he didn't say that. I said it. I said it's not that big a deal based on the way Hinch is running the team and will run the team.
Okay. So it is a big deal. You need other starters. We're going to sit here for an entire month, and A.J. Przinsky is going to say, you need starters. If you don't have starters, you're not going to win in the playoffs. So what is really their plan, or do they hope it comes out in the wash here in September?
All right, I'll explain the column a little bit more in detail. So what I meant was the identity of that number 2 starter is not necessarily that significant. And it's not that significant for them because regardless of who it is, Jack Flaherty, Casey Mize, Charlie Morton, they're going to run the games aggressively. And at the first sign of trouble, the starting pitcher is going to be out of there, just like is the case with many other teams we will see this postseason. I'm sure San Diego will run their team like that. They're in the same kind of spot, albeit with a much stronger bullpen. The Dodgers with Glasnow and Kershaw, they're going to have a decision there. The Blue Jays, all these teams are less patient with starting pitchers in the playoffs. That's generally speaking, right? Now, with the Tigers, they believe that they have a fairly strong bullpen. Now, they don't have a fairly strong bullpen in terms of strikeout rate. They're next to last in the majors in that department. But they do have bulk inning type relievers. Tyler Holton, Troy Melton has emerged as a guy who can be that. And one of those starters will move to the bullpen, at least for the division series. So A.J. Hinch will be able to operate with urgency and make decisions quickly if things start to go awry. So if indeed Flaherty, for instance, is that guy, well, of course they want him to be as good as he can be and pitch 7 or 8 innings if possible. If that doesn't happen, though, they believe they are well equipped to handle that. We'll see. It's obviously a strategy that is not as reliant on starting pitching as you would like it to be, but how many teams have 3 or 4 starters in the postseason that are still going well that you can count on to pitch deep into games? It's not many.
Ken, I was there when you asked Hinch that. When I asked Hinch that question, and yes, he did not say that. He said Flaherty probably would be the guy they would like to slot in there, but he needs to pitch better. And then they have Mize, and so he kind of hinted at who we would like to see. But here's the only thing I say about what you just said: they made it through the wild card round with their pitching chaos and yada yada yada. They got to the division series and got caught because Skubal didn't pitch that great. And if Skubal loses, you can say whatever you want about starting pitching, doesn't matter. But if that guy loses on Skubal Day, as they call it, the Tigers are in serious trouble because then it brings so many other. They're counting on Skubal to go 6, 7, 8 innings every time he takes them out in the postseason. It doesn't always happen, especially against the same team twice in a short series. They need him to be great. And if he's not, that's where it catches you.
AJ, I'm not in the camp of starting pitching doesn't matter. Far from it. In fact, I would love to have 4 Tarek Skubals on my team. And he is one of the most dominant pitchers in the game. The question becomes, when you don't have that, how do you adjust and how do you react? Now, if Tarek Skubal is not Tarek Skubal in the postseason, all of this, as you said, doesn't matter. And that's the case regardless. Whatever strategy you employ, however you go about this, He is a huge part of what they do, a huge part of their psychology in postseason series and, of course, the regular season as well. So it's reasonable to assume under any pitching scenario that if he doesn't pitch well, they're in trouble.
FT fam, designer clothes can be expensive, but we want our clothes to look good. We want to feel good. We want them to be affordable. And Kratz, if you tell me that I can wear a t-shirt that looks like it's tailored, but it's not actually tailored, and it just comes that way, then sign me up for True Classic.
Have to. You got to sign up for it because these shirts are soft, they're thin, they're durable, and they're very versatile. You can wear them to the gym. You can wear them out to a nice dinner. Let's get after it because these shirts are the real deal.
They are. Check it out. I've got one of the performance ones. It's a nice blue, fits well. I can go to the gym. I can go out. I can do FT in a shirt like this. FT fam, there's a reason why True Classic has sold over 25 million shirts to more than 5 million customers. And they are racking up over 200,000 5-star reviews. See for yourself with our exclusive link at trueclassic.com/foul to save. That's trueclassic.com/FOUL. Ken, last one. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the BBWAA adding the Relief Pitcher of the Year award. I know MLB has had one. Jason Stark wrote a great article, your colleague in The Athletic. He said in the article, no one pays much attention to the ones that MLB has, and that even people who vote on that one said this would be great because there's a lot of closers on that panel and all they do is vote for saves. So I wanted to make sure people understood this is going to get the same treatment as MVP, Cy, et cetera, in terms of research, right?
Oh, absolutely. And our awards, the writers, I know people might not agree with our choices all the time, but we take them very seriously. And I can speak virtually for everyone who votes. This is a serious exercise at the end of every season that all of us who are voting conduct, analyzing and trying to figure out not just who the winner should be, but how to place them on the ballot, in which order. So the thinking behind this award, as Jason wrote, is we as an organization don't honor relievers the way we should, considering their importance now in the game, the way that role has evolved and how, hey, maybe they don't win Cy Youngs, maybe they don't win MVPs. That's perfectly justifiable, but they should be recognized. And what is going to be interesting about our award is how we handle it. Is it the guy who has the most saves? I don't believe so. I believe it's going to be the person, the player that is deemed the best reliever, as we kind of get away from the logic as a sport that saves aren't as important as we once considered them to be. Other things are more important. So I would expect when this happens in 2026, we're not doing it this year, starting next year is when we're doing it, that you'll see some different choices. And that kind of is a healthy thing for the game. And these relievers who often are overlooked, hey, they should be acknowledged, and they should be acknowledged by us as an organization when we are acknowledging the best in other ways at other spots.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Ken, appreciate the time.
Ken already told me his pick for AL MVP and AL Cy Young. I'm just saying, it's nice to hang out with you, Ken, this weekend.
You got it, AJ. Anytime.
We'll see you tomorrow on Fair. Can't wait for your AJ segment.
Thanks. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Ken. Let's stay here for a sec. So I think this is interesting. Ken
came to dinner this weekend, by the way. Big deal.
That is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Once or twice a year, I get a good Ken dinner, and it's fun. Mm-hmm. Ken's got stories. This helps relievers to get into the Hall of Fame, because you'll have another award, a legit award, right? Kratz, yes, this helps money. Actually, it already is helping money. Do you know Aroldis Chapman just signed an extension? He has an escalator in there that's based on this Relief Pitcher of the Year award. So this already does help.
Relief Fireman of the Year, whatever.
Whatever, yeah. Well, now what they call it, the Mariano and the Trevor Hoffman and all of that. But it's just better if these awards are neutral. Just like our show. It's better if you are in an independent setting to be able to comment, to be able to vote on things, right? Versus a league. Even for believability with a fan base, right? They all gravitate to these awards. I think that's pretty obvious. So it makes sense. Kratz, relievers were getting shafted. Stark's article was awesome. Relievers are getting shafted here. And MVP has essentially become position players. Cy Young has essentially become starters. This will be covering a significant portion of our game. Relievers pitch half the playoffs, and they don't get much credit for awards like this.
Oh, they're getting, in my opinion, more meaningful innings. I think every inning is meaningful because you could lose the lead in the first inning, but I completely agree. I think it's something that relievers have been getting shafted, and organizations could care less if they hurt them. They're just rolling the next one out there. So I love this. My opinion is, will anybody actually give a Cy Young vote to a reliever after this? When the award starts next year, will any relievers get any Cy Young votes, or will it be strictly just starters?
Well, once upon a time, this is from the article, in the 1950s, the BBWAA, which votes on these awards, decided pitchers weren't getting their due in MVP voting. So they introduced the Cy Young Award to cover that. We're now at 33 seasons since we had the Cy Young Award winner and MVP in the same year be a relief pitcher. That was Dennis Eckersley in 1992. And then since that time period, 1992, long time ago, only one reliever has won a Cy Young Award, Eric Gagne in 2003.
Well, he was perfect there.
Yeah, but the point is, relievers are getting shafted. So even if this now takes them off,
people thought Clase should have won in the conversation last year.
Yeah, so, obviously,
Scoble won.
He should have gotten votes, which he did, and I still think that they will get votes. What?
Would you bet on Clase winning?
That was very crappy.
Not too
Kratz,
soon.
he stole your joke. Not too soon.
I know.
Yeah. Well,
I appreciate that.
He's out for the rest of the year, by the way. I know we didn't get to
that.
Anyway, what?
A quick hit, yeah, because they haven't found anything, or they haven't come out with a decision yet. So
but they've also found enough that they keep it going.
Put him out.
Yeah.
So they found something, but we don't know what. Because they never talk about it.
But he would have gotten votes for an award like this in the past.
Mm-hmm. He would have won last year.
Yep, he would have won it last year. Relief Pitcher of the Year award. So anyway, I think it's cool to bring that to the table. It's great for the award season to have those relievers show up and get their due. So I just thought it was important to bring up to Ken.